Kitchen remodel part 2 begins. There's Cooper. We've got all the drawers out, except for that one spice drawer there. It was a little more difficult, but Randy will get it. Still have to get the doors off. And that old gas cooktop will be coming out. I'm brave, aren't I? Showing you this mess. Got to take all those drawers out too, empty them, and I'll be emptying the cabinets. Have to do a lot of scraping to get the tile that's on there off. Being in the drywall business, you have a lot of handy tools, especially when you're doing something indoors that's a remodel. Those little stick things that are holding that plastic up to the ceiling are called zip walls. When I awakened the next morning, he had covered the floor, put the zip walls up, and taken out the stove. Pretty fast work. This is a view from our hallway into the area where he's going to work. This is the view from the dinette. You can see he's got it up protecting the good side of the kitchen, the clean side, from all the dust that he's about to create. And then this is the view from the snack bar area looking back into the kitchen. Very efficient, but that's my husband. Now he's starting to chip the tile away. He's using a flat bar and a hammer to get all that tile off of the countertop. This kind of work makes a lot of noise, and you see he has some headphones on there, which does help with the sound, but honestly, he's listening to music, of course. The vent hood is out, and you can see what I mean by disgusting. The grease and all that. We're going to remedy all that. Is that up in there? It's not going to be up in there. It's going to be flush with this out here. See, look. It's just, yuck. It's grease. Not a good idea to have a textured surface that you cannot get wiped clean. Anyway. It's going to be flush. This part he's going to put new sheetrock up because this is disgusting. Copper all the way around. Flush. Copper on this area in the back. You see, originally it was tile. You can't tell because this is a product I had to put on the tile before I did my concrete overlay. But we want this gone. So that's gonna be copper. And then the countertop, copper. And he's wanting to put copper on the sides too. I don't know. We gotta talk to the fabricator to see how that will work. But I'm brave showing you how disgusting this was. Now we're going up in the attic because he wants to see how it's vented. And then he's gonna tackle getting the sheetrock off and new on. Now it's time to start getting some of that sheetrock out so that he can change the framing, add new framing for the new vent hood, because it's a much larger vent hood and it's going to be flush and not way up in there. He's using his oscillating saw to get that done. Takes a minute. But he's got this side open and he will go next and do the other side. The demo continues. Wow. That looks wild. Oh. Ooh, and it's open up there now to the attic. Jeez, he's got to do something about that quick. The next step, as I said, is for Randy to add some new framing for the vent hood. And when he gets that completed, he and a friend of ours, electrician friend of ours, will be installing it. This is where we are right now. Yesterday, Randy and our electrician friend from church got this amazing vent hood installed. And we just had to use a degreaser on the back of that. It was awful. It's hard for me to reach, so Randy scrubbed it all. And being the sheetrock man that he is, he's now filled in, patched with sheetrock and patched in where we had electric plugs. We don't want them back there. Now all that back area will be covered in copper, along with the sides and the base, which I'm going to show you here in a sec, best I can. And then he had to cut out, reframe for this very large vent hood to fit in. Oh, he's got it nailed down everywhere. But he had to put some more wood on the top of this because the range top that we have is a little bit thicker, I guess, and so he had to bring it up so that when it will clear this drawer, and then it will connect to the gas and be plugged in. So now I'm gonna step back up here. He is going to be redoing this, and I will insert a picture of kind of where we're going. And then this little cubby hole is where we're going to put the microwave, and we had a door made that matches the shape of our existing doors, and we'll be attaching these hinge mechanisms that when you pull the handle, it lifts upward. Pretty cool thing. And of course, after he gets this doing whatever he's gonna do, then I need to clean all the cabinets, and he's gonna get them painted. And then we have to wait for the copper guy, and he's over a month out. So we will put the range in and then just wait for him to take it back out when he can come do all the copper. How do you like our over the range design? When in doubt, draw it out. And a really fancy countertop right now. Yeah. Heavy duty foil doubled. And that is because the copper guy can't get here for a month. I cannot live without a cooktop for a month. So, foil it is. Looking good. Just a little bit more framing to go. One more piece at the top to match that double trim. And it'll be ready to go. All done.
Almost.
A lot of caulking to do now.
And thinking.
To me, you really can't have enough accent lighting, especially in the kitchen. I found these two cool sconces on Amazon, and they really were not very expensive. I think it was like two for $28, something like that. But I wanted them to be copper. So my first attempt at making them copper was just to use the rub and buff in the autumn gold, as I've shown several times with little objects. And then I used an antiquing product to get it to be a little bit darker and a little bit more aged looking. However, when I took them upstairs, they were just too light. You know, copper patina, coppers can vary in color. But I thought about it, I kind of held them up, and I thought they're too light. They're not going to match the aged copper sheets that we have going in below them in the stove area. And additionally, we have two copper lights over our snack bar area that are darker copper as well. So I needed to do something different. I took them outside and I sprayed them all with hammered copper. And then again, I used an antiquing product. This is Pentard. It is not their paste, it is their liquid form. And I just used a towel to pat to get that aged look on copper that's, you know, some areas are darker, some lighter. These are really cool lights. You know, we don't have any, they're not hardwired. I suppose we could have got the electrician to do that, but I'm sure those lights would have been way more expensive than what we got. And the interesting part about them is that they're USB plug-in, chargeable, but the bulb itself is magnetic. The screw part of the bulb stays down in the light fixture, and then you just carefully lift off the bulb part itself from the screw cap area, and the little USB charger is right there. Fast forward about a week and a half, and the kitchen is painted, and we are putting it back together. So much fun to see this going back in. Randy is putting the little bumper pads on all the drawers and the doors. never had any liners in my pots and pans drawers. And the bottom is scarred up over 20-something years of just putting pots and pans in there. I went to Lowe's and I actually bought this, which is a rug pad that, to me, it looks exactly the same as drawer liner stuff and way more expensive. And this rug pad is way less expensive. So I'm going to cut it up and put it in my pot and pan drawers and my spice drawers.
All right. Well, with the bloom mounts, you're supposed to have flush and flush. This cabinet doesn't have that. It has a lip. So I'm having to fur down to get flush. And then I'm using these blocks to fur it out to flush on the outside.
Show that you cut the same shape as that.
Yeah. And as you see, I scribed it out and marked it where it was close, but it wouldn't really show. But it's just enough to fur it out. So now I'm going to install the wood, and then we'll go from there.
Each of these mechanisms come with 4 screws. There doesn't appear to be a left or a right. They seem to be the same on the both sides. So, he went somewhere. Oh, throw away the trash. These yellow plastic things that are here on the front are just guides. Eventually those are to come off. Go ahead. So you slide it where it's bumped all the way to the top and it's catching on the edge. Then you put 4 screws.
And they're not magnetic.
No, I saw that guy put one, yeah, like that, and then screw it in.
Yeah, I guess that's why they have the little rubber thing inside. Simple enough. Make sure this guide is, because we got a little thing in the decorative thing. I just want to make sure it was lined up. She's there.
Now this side. I'm glad that little indentation piece doesn't happen until the bottoms, and that way you know you're lined up at the top.
Just want to make sure it's where it's spaced the same. And it is. It's good.
I do think the arms are left and right. Maybe not.
Only for left-handed people.
Okay, you take those little yellow things off. It's supposed to be, I think he said lift up, maybe? Yeah, there we go. I mean, the purpose of those is only to help you line it up correctly.
Alrighty then. There it goes. Side to side.
Okay. Next. the arms. Now he's attaching the arms. Okay, he finally got it in there.
You know, I'm supposed to catch. Oh yeah, wait a minute, yeah.
Find its spot.
There it is.
Okay.
Desk
We have watched a bunch of videos on putting this bloom thing in. It's a little tricky. Uh-oh. Okay. Whew. Now we have to do the stabilization rod. And I think it says measure the inside width of your cabinet from side to side. And then you subtract 113 millimeters.
Well, it has to be from this edge
No, it's
to
the
that
end.
edge.
No.
Because it hooks from here
No.
to here.
Inside.
If you go all the way, because the ones that they showed
Honey,
were flush.
113 millimeters is like almost 4.5 inches. They're accounting for that.
They ain't accounting for having to add that piece of wood on each side. You can't go all the way from here to here. You've got to go from the base of the wood to
Okay.
the base of the wood, which
Then
is
it would
which is
be-
this edge to this edge.
Okay, you're right. Smarty pants. All right, he has cut the rod, and now he puts the adapter. It says it only goes in one way because there's a flat side to the rod. Put your black things on next.
Yeah, I was gonna tap it down to look and see what I had.
Okay, and then you put the other thing in.
I think it's got to be tapped in. I think it's what he said.
He mentioned a hammer. No, he said put the other end first.
I know, but it's got to be tapped in or it's not going to fit.
Okay. You can put it in either way, but you put that side in first.
Is there a certain place the flat side goes, or is it ain't gonna let you put it in but one way?
I think it'll only let you put it in one way. And then you slide those things over as protectors. Da 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 da.
Oh, not so bad.
And now we get the fun part of figuring out how the hinges go on the door. And that is a challenge. We've got it on and it works. And now I just marked for the handle. Had to buy a new handle. This is the one I picked because it was closest to our pulls that we had, but I did get 2 new pulls on my spice drawers because those pulls are right next to the microwave. The other pulls I have are by my sink. I'll show you those. They're the old ones. See, there's the old ones. But honestly, the only difference is that the new ones have a little bit of a flare out. I've made many wreaths in my life, but never quite like this. I think it's a little bit of a cheater's way, but that's okay. I got the 18-inch grapevine wreath at Hobby Lobby, and then I got this beautiful fall garland half off there, and I'm just going to attach the garland to the wreath. I'll fluff it a bit. It ends up being a little bit longer than the circumference of the 18-inch wreath, so I cut that off, but I still don't waste anything. I take the picks out of that maybe 14-inch piece that was left and just add it in here and there, sticking it through the grapevine. I love using dehydrated orange slices, especially in fall arrangements. I think it adds a little something, plus it smells really nice. I place these slices in where I want them to go, and then I take them over to my table and I will hot glue them in. My last craft for the kitchen involves a fall platter. Now I love this chicken platter and it works great for spring and summer. But I really wanted something that was more autumnal in tone. So I ordered this tray from Amazon. It's quite beautiful, I think, and has nice details, but I want to put something in the middle. And I decided probably an IOD transfer is going to be the best thing. Now, normally when you're applying a transfer, you need to have a coat of something, like, a top coat, but not if it's ceramic or glass. All you need to do is clean it really well before applying your transfer. I chose to use Iron Orchid Designs Transfer English Toile. I thought that would be perfect. It's not really a black, it's kind of a gray brown, a dark brown. And honestly, part of one sheet was enough to do the center of this tray without even having to splice it at all. So I was looking through there and picking out the one I wanted. And then it was just a matter of trimming it a little bit and then applying it. The transfers are super simple to apply, especially on a flat surface and ceramic. It just goes on so smoothly. So once you have it cut to fit, you simply peel off the backing, stick it down, and then you use the little plastic stick to rub the top of the transfer and carefully releasing it If you miss a spot, you can just lay it back down and rub again until all of the image comes off. With transfers, it's recommended that you put some sort of a top coat over them to completely seal them and protect them. Well, this being ceramic, I needed it to be quite shiny, and I really didn't want to brush a top coat on or spray it. I didn't want to mess up the surrounding ceramic edge. So I decided to use Pentart's pouring glaze. It's super easy to use. It's exactly what it says. You pour it out, and you can do it fairly thickly. I pour it out. I use a brush to kind of scoot it around, and it will level out as it dries. So you just have to make sure that you get it on a level surface. But I do get it to all the edges before letting it dry. And then it is finished. When I designed this kitchen back in 2003, I drew in spice drawers underneath the stove on either side of the pots and pans drawers. At that time, spice drawers were very, very new. So new, my cabinet man had never even heard of them. And not only did I have to kind of draw and sketch it and show what it would look like, I eventually found a picture which helped him to put them in. Now they're very common. In fact, in 2012, my mother burned her kitchen up just about, and it totally had to be gutted. Her home, my parents had built in 1977, and it was extremely dated. They have an English Tudor style home, so in designing it, I kind of had to keep that in mind. But again, I added spice drawers to her under her stove area, and we made that stove piece look like a piece of furniture. Well, as much as I love spice drawers, I never had it very well organized, but I do now. Look at this, y'all. And it wasn't hard to do. I ordered these little spice jar bottles from Amazon. I actually ordered 2 packs, so I have a lot of spices and some empty jars. Just ideal. Now I can see everything. I'm not overbuying when I think I've run out of something because I can't find it. Now I can find it. Was it easy to work with or not?
It's easy to bend. It's extremely difficult to work with as far as how fragile it is. So I have it clamped to that. Oops, I'm bending that right there. So it's kind of wrinkly. And so I think what's going to have to happen is when we glue this other piece down, and we glue that to that one and roll it out, it should help with that. But it's so thin that it's
Yeah, it'll work out.
that's the biggest difficulty with it. So probably the best way to pick this up, I may just kind of slide this.
Is the metal already there? Oh, okay. I see.
I got a piece of metal under it here.
When I bought this copper, I didn't know what I was buying, and it was way thin.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt is got a piece of steel there to put down first. And I think they're going to use FRP glue to glue it down.
May have to trim this to fit a little bit.
Looks pretty perfect to me.
So I need to trim off a little bit of this to make it flush right here, but you get the idea.
Don't step on it, Randy.
And I also thought about it. We don't need to fold it down in the center
Right.
because the hole's already tight.
Okay. Dude, I would probably just cut it just flush or even outside the hole a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is hanging over a little bit more than it needs, so I need to shave off probably 1/8 of an inch off the back side. So I'll pull that a little closer too. Then I can just do that with my snips. That won't be a problem. Once we get that in place, we can I can reach in here and mark this hole, and then just cut that out, and then this piece will be the easy part. And then I have this trim band also for the truck.
Right.
Install that before we put this on. So, let me go grab some tools, and I guess we might need these for something, but we can set them over there. I don't know that we will, but these are just some random scraps I had laid around my shop to use to.
Do I need to start grabbing some books
Not yet.
to weigh it down?
This piece, I guess, we'll glue it down first.
Right.
And that stuff, you said, it tacks up real quick. So then once we get this down, then we'll put that and glue it to this. I think that'll help because it'll make it feel more solid.
Then we'll put more weight on it after all of it's gone.
Right.
Okay. He put quite a bit of water in it.
Yeah, I thinned it down pretty good.
It's usually really thick, like trowel thick.
So basically, it's almost like you use a slotted trowel to put it on for I guess, does that go on like a substrate like plywood, or is it more like for studs?
It's to really adhere FRP to drywall.
Okay, so the drywall is the base coat.
Right, the sheetrock. When Matt had come over a few days ago to again look at our space, it had been 5 years since he had looked at it. We opened up one of the rolls of copper, and he went, "Whoa, this is way thin." He usually uses like a 36 gauge, and y'all, I think what I ordered was like 5 gauge. I mean, it's crazy thin. So he had the idea to give it more stability on the actual countertop was to put some sheet metal down first, which is what they are doing there. Randy has rolled out the FRP glue. FRP is a plastic type wall product that you put over sheetrock, and they use it in commercial spaces like in kitchens. So if you've ever been in a fast food restaurant or really any restaurant and you've been able to see the kitchen, you'll see kind of a white pebbly looking plastic material. That is called FRP, and it takes a very special glue to adhere that to a wall. It's very sticky, so that's what we're using. Now what he's doing now, he also talked about using some copper he had in his shop that is the appropriate gauge to create like a front piece, a band for the front. And he made it such that it's got this little tiny lip on the top. And you'll see once we glue down the piece of copper that I bought, he rolls it over the top of this little lip, and then he hammers it down and does what he calls pinching it, which keeps it all in place. So at the end of a few hours, the countertop was done, and he'll be back on Monday to continue working on this. It's a little interesting and a little complicated.
Seal trim, which is a piece of metal that's nailed on there that has a pocket built into it that you slide the end of a piece of metal into it and it holds it all together. That's what's I'm nailing in this backside edge right here.
Will you do that at the back too, or is it something different back there?
It's going to be something different in the back because we're going to try to make this piece right here that turns down being the same piece as
that one?
Here. So
Gotcha.
It'll be an angled piece.
Cool.
That will cover up the back there. So.
Engineering challenge.
Exactly.
The ceiling installation was in a series of pieces. He just did a beautiful job of having things tucked, like he talked about that first trim piece he put up there, and now he's sliding this other piece, and they've already put glue on there. This time they were using Gorilla construction adhesive for the ceiling. Then they go back to the FRP glue for the sidewalls. But he even has this one edge there bent to tuck between the tiny little groove between the sheetrock and the vent hood. I mean, it's just flawless. He did a phenomenal job. Wow. And this is where you're talking about, Randy, putting a
strip of wood, just like this piece
Yeah.
on the front right here.
I'm gonna just sandwich that edge in
And hide this.
hide that, and then cover up this rough edge
Yeah.
and make it still have a clean cutoff point.
Right.
Really, especially with this thin of a gauge material, you're still running into a point. Where do you stop it, and how do you stop it?
Right.
Right here, I did this thicker piece of trim that, and I would have probably had to do something similar to that here if we'd gone that route and set it back. But I think this is going to look better.
Yes.
What I'll do, I'll cut these pieces to fit, and then I'll pre-paint them before I nail it up.
Right.
And then that'll get a lot of these birds with one stone here.
So looking at the way you've got this overlap stuff, the other side is next?
Yes, I'm gonna try to do this piece next, and then the last piece will be the one across right here.
Right, I got you.
And
Because that piece turns just like
Yes.
this one does.
mm-hmm.
And you really don't notice that seam.
Right.
And it really
Plus I'll have stuff in front of it.
It really covered up those plug patches well too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I used to have outlets right there.
Yeah.
And there was no reason for them.
I mean, I could see them on other parts of the cabinets, but like, who uses an electric? I guess unless you had an electric mixer or something you were using on a stovetop, but that's
Which
pretty
I
messy.
do have one,
Right.
that you can do in a pot, but still I could take my pot elsewhere.
Right.
And I don't think that was code.
I don't know that it is these days.
Maybe it was then, and that's why we put them in, but I never liked them there.
I mean, the codes have changed a lot over the last 15 years that I've been working.
Yeah.
More than that, actually.
Yeah.
I forget how old I am sometimes. I've been working in construction for 20 something, 25 years, I guess.
Randy's got
Since
to
I was
be.
teenagers.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I remember him when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I was growing good then.
Last piece.
This is the piece I want me to put a few rivets in.
That's fine. Never be seen. It looks fabulous, Matt.
Well, good. I'm pretty tickled how it turned out too. I was a little concerned how I was gonna make all this stuff work together, but I think it's gonna look good.
I do too.
It's gonna,
Randy gets that little trim piece up on each side, and it'll look very finished. So while he's grabbing some things, I'll do a close-up. Obviously, they put this wooden 2x4 up just to kind of push against the sides, help that glue start holding. And if you can see up in here, he's got it up on the ceiling too. And then on these ends, Randy's going to put another piece of like little fascia wood. He'll cut it, pre-paint it, and then put that up to kind of seal that edge off. It'll hide this little bit here, and this is sharp, so it'll just come all the way up. Thanks for watching. Keep looking up and have a good one.